So I wanted to give insight on my time with Monster Hunter Wilds pre-release and offer essentially a review from someone who has not played Monster Hunter before and who is new to the franchise. I played the game for 20 plus hours prior to its official launch, though my in-game timer does say that it's around 15, so I'm not sure what the disconnect is in there or where it's going, but I know that I've spent 20 plus hours in the game. And as a newcomer to Monster Hunter, this game is simply astounding. Like I will tell you right now that going in, the first thing I noted was how beautiful and smooth this experience was. I was playing on Xbox Series X with no hiccups, no problems, and it showcases one of the most impressive visual designs for a game that I've seen in a long time. I don't necessarily mean that it's unique, just that it's smooth and appropriate. It feels like this is a living world where all of the creatures and monsters that I interacted with were part of an ecosystem that was relevant to them. Each monster or creature interacts with one another. They have effects and impacts on one another, and it looks and feels so natural within that world. Some of the monsters are natural rivals for areas, and if you were, drag, kite one to another area, you will see those two monsters turn on each other and start to battle. And whatever the natural winner would be in nature seems to win out there. And so you can use that as a strategic advantage whilst you are hunting. You can bring one creature over to another and let that creature do damage, cause injuries, and then take advantage of that yourself. Quite unique, though, was when I had two monsters battle it out. I was able to take down both of them in the same session, which I thought was very cool as well. It was really neat also to see that each of the monster designs very much fit to a biome relevant to them. So you have your kind of your standard breadth of biomes, your jungle, your desert, your frozen areas, but the monster designs seem relevant to it. If you were trying to survive in some areas, that were very cold, they would be covered in fur, that kind of stuff. I didn't see spiders in cold areas because it wouldn't have made as much sense. So that was kind of neat. Something that was also cool that they provide the player with is a creature called a Seikret. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. They're essentially like raptors, or what we now know raptors to be, where you're running around on a bipedal avian looking reptile-esque creature that can run around at very high speeds. You use them to chase down monsters, to traverse the world. They never take fall damage, which is a great thing as a player because you can just jump off a cliff and that thing's going to land. If it's too far for it to, air quotes, land safely, then it's going to spread its wings and glide you down, which is another cool thing. And the Sekrets themselves can carry supplies and stuff on you. So they're fast, they're efficient, and you can auto tell them where to go, which I think is really great. So kind of like Roach in The Witcher 3, tap a button, it's going to take you to where your objective is, which I think is cool because it looks so good. I got to talk about it, how natural it looks in the world. This thing, super, super neat. I will say that auto travel button was frustrating at times because I would consistently try to turn it off. And there were a couple times where it kept kicking back on, which made whatever I was trying to do, that autopilot trying to take over for me when I wanted to just stop or go through my pouches and whatnot to just find the right materials. That autopilot tried to take over a few times that I didn't want it to, but that could have been user error. Again, I point to, I'm new to Monster Hunter, and that's kind of where the problems started to show up as somebody who is new to the franchise. The actual monster hunting, it was a very mixed bag for me as a new player, and I had a really hard time, and still am having a hard time learning all of these many systems that are in place. I can tell that the developers took time to try to make it more accessible, and more experienced reviewers, people that are entrenched into Monster Hunter, have pointed out to me many times over that this is a game that is more approachable than any other Monster Hunter and is far easier than other Monster Hunters previous. But as someone who's still new to the franchise and tried to review it in a vacuum for the sole purpose of being able to have this conversation with an audience, it was still too much. I was trying to go in and hack and slash my way, and I'm still overwhelmed by it. What I found myself doing, Logan, was going in and looking up videos on older Monster Hunters just to get an idea of how, as a franchise, they want me to go through. And so I will say this: if you are someone who enjoys going through and battling large creatures, causing wounds, breaking armors, taking advantage of those crit hit areas, you're going to have a good time. But you're going to want a Sherpa with you. You're going to want someone to help streamline your experiences, because those many systems, whether it be little things like cooking, not a hard thing to figure out, or preparation, such as like the right type of ammo for a certain area, that plucking off the right resources as you run by on your secret, to figure out how to transfer those items from your current pouch into your secrets pouch to your camp's pouch, back and forth across these three things. There are so many systems in place, and the guidance and the UX, the user experience, the UI, the user interface is so poorly done that as a new player, I was immediately overwhelmed, and still after 20 hours, don't feel comfortable. Maybe I'm an outlier in this, but I strongly feel that if you have no experience in Monster Hunter, you are going to want a Sherpa, a guide, and you're going to need to recognize you'll have to pay attention to these things. None of these systems are bad, mind you, but there's so much to digest that I felt like as a new player, not enough was done to make it what I wanted it to be, to make it more approachable, even though I know they took steps. My understanding, many veteran players find this to be one of the easiest Monster Hunters. They're plowing through this thing in 15 hours, and they're ready for harder, more intense content, which does exist and will be coming down. The standard track line from normal Monster Hunters is to release a game, let it be easy, and then give you DLCs that will kick your tail. And that's fine. But my kind of final closing thought is that it's an incredible video game. I really do enjoy it. I want to play more, but it's best enjoyed with friends, and it's best enjoyed with people that know what they're already doing, because it's a very difficult franchise to get into.